Kia ora, welcome back to Te Iko Maui radio show. I am your hostess, Monica Eastick, and today I'm just going to show that little tiny clip. Remember yesterday or the other day when I made the other video, I promised to show a little clip about Hinikorako. Yeah, because that was on the Wakahuia show. But I made such a big video the other day, I forgot to put it in. So I'm just going to do that now. So I'm going to play a little clip. I might just put it in somewhere along the video. Yeah, today we're going to talk about te reina and what te reina means, and how the translations of te reina, and talk a little bit about Uru Tananana, the god of light, and the shapeshifters, and a little bit about science, and a little bit more about the gods, and of Te Moana Nui Kiwa. Yeah, it's not really a quiz today. The other day I did an Indigenous quiz. Today is just a little bit of a wānanga, just filling in the gaps for the last video I did. I'm always having to fill in the gaps. I've always I've made 160 videos, and I have to keep making videos to pretty much explain the last video that I did. And started off with one video 2 years ago, and that got like 17,000 views or something, and now it's like 160 videos because the first video I did was about he whakaputanga, and lots of people thought I was lying. But I was like, no, this is real. And then I had to keep doing videos to prove that he whakaputanga was real. Next thing you know, I've done 160 videos. Didn't even mean to do 160 videos, but yeah, that's what happens because this is the never-ending story, you see. Just have to keep doing videos to explain the last 160 videos. And don't worry, it gets worse. We've only just touched the tip of the iceberg with this story. Yes, and so last video I did talked a little bit about Nanaia Mahuta, the New Zealand Foreign Affairs and Trade Minister, but I didn't explain everything in that story because Nanaia Mahuta, she's operating in corporate capacity, in public capacity, using public funding to do what she's doing, and she targeted me, and I have the evidence of that because it was a Christchurch policeman. He had red hairs, and he was the one who, I think he pulled me up a few times, and he didn't take my car from me, but he was saying, he kept trying to explain to me that Nanaia Mahuta was like pretty much directing him to arrest me. And I was like, you can't do that. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. I was like, Nanaia Mahuta. I said, don't listen to her. She lives 1 block away from me. And she did at that time, live 1 block away from me. She said to whoever, she actually said to the Australian International Courts as well, that she didn't recognise the 1834 flag. But I think she might have been telling porcupines. Yeah, she might have been telling porcupines. Because, let's move that around. What's happening here? It's in the way. Nanaia Mahuta was telling porcupines because I lived a block away from her. She'd seen that flag before, and her cousins have seen that flag before because a lot of her cousins were in Māori Rangers. I think she's telling porcupines. Yeah, so it's no fun. It's no fun because, yeah, built up Māori Ranger Security Division to its pinnacle because I got the blessing from the tupunas, and then I built up Te Moana Nui Kiwi Embassy because I based that on my whakapapa and my ancestry, and then I even made common law embassy for Peter, so all the Pākehās can go over there and do their big paperwork. I don't like big paperwork, no, because do you think that the Nephilim and the giants and the Barabarai and the mermaids, do you think they did paperwork? Do you? You think they did paperwork? Or do you think they had a sea pass? I think they had a sea pass. The giants, Rongo Kako, my granddad, he could take giant strides across land and the sea, and because he had a sea pass. It was him. He was a big guy. He was a giant. That was Tamati Arakinui's son. Yeah. I think it's, Tamati Arakinui's son. He was born in Tauranga, and he died in Te Mata Peak. On the south coast of Hawke's Bay, to the kind of like to the east of Te Hoki, kind of like east, a little bit east and a bit up a bit from Te Hoki, from Cape Kidnappers. Cape Kidnappers, that's a weird name, isn't it? Must be where they steal all the babies from the Hastings Hospital, eh? They like to steal our babies. A lot of the counterfeits are in with the government and the DHBs and the hospitals and the Oranga Tamariki, and they like to steal our babies, especially Cape Kidnappers, because our babies were the shiniest little bubbies of all. Yes, to stop that Grenine Moss, she was very evil. Yes, don't like them taking our babies. Everybody on the islands kicked up a bit of a stink, and that Grenine Moss had to run away. We're very, very cross with her. Run away, Grenine. Eugenie Sage is a bit of a witch too. Yes, dropping 1080 everywhere. Who said they could do that? Hey, Granddad Tane is not very happy with that. No, that 1080 killing all the birds, killing all the care. Hey? Poison is for cowards. No, we do not like poison. Genghis Khan was a Mongolia warrior. He was a Mongolian tribesman, and his father was poisoned when he was only 9 years old, and his family was very wealthy. He was born in 1162 AD, year 1162. Was he born 1162? Let me just think this through. It was 1162, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, he was. He was born in 1162 because his birthdays add up to 10, like October. Yeah, like October. And he was very wealthy. His family was wealthy. But when his father got poisoned, when Genghis Khan, he was born Temujin. He was born Temujin, and Temujin, that translates to the highest warrior of the gods. Yeah, and it was predicted that he was going to be a great warrior, because when he was born clutching a blood clot. Came out of the womb clutching a blood clot in his right hand. Yeah, so Temujin, or Genghis Khan, when he was a little baby, he grew up strong, and when his father died, he suffered from starvation, and that's why he worships the sacred white cow goddess, the ox, because if you have an ox in your family, you survive through starvation and through poverty. The ox is the mother, and the mother is the food of life. Yes, and yes, that's why they worship the sacred white cow goddess in India and in Mongolia. Yes, and his mother had a digging stick, a ko, rako, a fire stick, a digging stick, yeah. And his mother would dig up the roots, because it's very barren in Mongolia, very barren, and so his mother would dig up the roots and That's how they could survive, and that made Genghis Khan feel very cross indeed. And he was a god of war, basically. There was a code, and he was the first one to make a diplomatic passport, and he encouraged peace and diplomacy, and that's why he never went into India. Okay, so 801 years ago from this year, we're in 2022 now, 801 years ago, there was a great battle. It was the Battle of the Indus River, and it was below Kashmir and just above Punjab and on India. And Genghis Khan had 50,000 soldiers, and he could have easily crossed the river and invaded India. But he didn't, because he loved the Kahuranaki. Yes. Because India had the biggest wealth. We had the biggest diamonds of all. The biggest diamonds, the biggest rubies, and the biggest emeralds, and the biggest sapphires. And that's why there are 10 blue sapphires on the Temple of Mu. The Temple of Mu is Genghis Khan's temple, and it's in a town called Aksan, and that town is in Mongolia, in the desert. Mu Desert. Temujin, the greatest warrior of all, and yes, and his mother had a digging stick, a ko rako, and his mother, he had the choice to save his mother or to save his beauty, his wife, and his servant. He chose to save his mother, and when he was getting invaded, when he was young, he was only a young boy. I think he was just a young man. When he was young, he chose his mother, and he put his mother on a white ox, and she fled war. He chose his mother. Yeah. That's why you've got to always be nice to your mother. He was born in 1162, because his birthdays add up to 10, like October. Yeah, like October. And he was very wealthy, his family was wealthy, but when his father got poisoned, when Genghis Khan, he was born Temujin. He was born Temujin, and Temujin, that translates to the highest warrior of the gods. Yeah. And it was predicted that he was going to be a great warrior, because when he was born clutching a blood clot. Came out of the womb clutching a blood clot in his right hand. Yeah, so Temujin, or Genghis Khan, when he was a little baby, he grew up strong, and when his father died, he suffered from starvation, and that's why he worships the sacred white cow goddess, the ox, because if you have an ox in your family, you survive through starvation and through poverty. The ox is the mother, and the mother is the food of life. Yes, and yes, that's why they worship the sacred white cow goddess in India and in Mongolia. Yes, and his mother had a digging stick, a ko rako, a fire stick, a digging stick. Yeah, and his mother would dig up the roots, because it's very barren in Mongolia, very barren, and so his mother would dig up the roots, and that's how they could survive, and that made Genghis Khan feel very cross indeed, and he was a god of war, basically. There was a code, and he was the first one to make a diplomatic passport, and he encouraged peace and diplomacy, and that's why he never went into India. Okay, so 801 years ago from this year, we're in 2022 now. 801 years ago, there was a great battle. It was the Battle of the Indus River, and it was below Kashmir and just above Punjab and on India. And Genghis Khan had 50,000 soldiers, and he could have easily crossed the river and invaded India. But he didn't, because he loved a kahuranaki. Kahuranaki. Yes. Because India had the biggest wealth. We had the biggest diamonds of all. The biggest diamonds, the biggest rubies, and the biggest emeralds, and the biggest sapphires. And that's why there are 10 blue sapphires on the Temple of Mu. The Temple of Mu is Genghis Khan's temple, and it's in a town called Aksan, and that town is in Mongolia, in the desert. Yeah, Mu Desert. Temujin, the greatest warrior of all, and yes, and his mother had a digging stick at Ko Rako, and his mother, he had the choice to save his mother or to save his beauty, his wife, and his servant. He chose to save his mother, and when he was getting invaded, when he was young, he was only a young boy. I think he was just a young man. When he was young, he chose his mother, and he put his mother on a white ox, and she fled war. He chose his mother. Yeah. That's why you've got to always be nice to your mother. Because mother is the highest. Yes, the highest indeed. Oh, now I'm going to mess up my makeup. Oh, god damn it. I don't want to mess up my makeup. It took me so long to do. See? So long to do, don't mess up my makeup. Okay, please, no, I don't want to have to redo it. The other day, I was doing a video, and this is my right hand, by the way. This is my right hand. And I just manifested on my right hand, above my right eye, a third eye. Just grew. Little eye-shaped thing happened. Halfway through my video, just by itself decided to grow there. That was a bit weird. Grew a third eye on the top of my right eye. Yeah, it's very sad what happened to Genghis Khan. Very wealthy. And so when you're wealthy and you lose everything to thieves, it makes you very cross indeed. Hello babies. Welcome back to Te Ika Maui Radio Show. I am your hostess, Monica Eastick, and yes, I'm borrowing the studio for the day. I've only got about an hour, so I'm going to try and do a power wānanga. Wānanga is school. Does anybody know where the word school comes from? Got any little tamarikis out there? Did you ever wonder where the word school comes from? Came from the mermaids, came from the sea people, because we had the biggest school of all. we used to be very helpful and teach people how to do things, and we were the wisdom keepers. We knew about science and the arts and all the secrets of the universe. Came from the mermaid people. Yeah, so that's where the word school comes from. Okay, yes. So 2 days ago, or a couple of days ago, I did a video. It was an Indigenous quiz, but I forgot to put one of the answers in because I said that I was going to include a tiny little video, a wakahuia video that was made many years ago about hinikorako. I was going to do a 10, 20 or 30 second snippet just so that the kids out there could see what I was talking about. So I'll edit that into this at the end. And if there was anything else that I had forgotten to include, I'll try and include it into this Indigenous quiz. or wānanga, school time, Indigenous school time. Yes, so for those of you who don't know, Te Wananui Kiwa is the Indigenous nation, or the sacred triangle, that spans from Hawaii Islands to Rapa Nui Islands, and to Ika, Maui, and Te Waka, Maui, and Te Pango, Te Waka, Maui. Those are our islands, and all the islands included are Hāmoa, Samoa, Tonga, Rarotonga, and Tahiti, and many islands, and Rakiura Island, well, they call it Chatham Islands now, but it was Rakiura, and yeah, all those islands are very special because they come into a sacred triangle, and it was the God zone, Te Wananui Kiwa. Yeah, and that's where we live, and that's our home, and that's our nation, our Indigenous nation, and our country is Nuterini, and a country is the corporate protectorate for the peoples, and a corporate protectorate is the protectorate that has a flag. So we have the 1834 flag with the Red Cross. It's a Royal Diplomatic Immunity flag gifted by King William IV in 1834 to the Tino Rangatira o Nuterini. Yes, so that we could trade safely all around the world, and that we would be protected, and that nobody would hurt us, because we were the God's babies. We were God's babies. We're very innocent, and we're very beautiful, and all the royalty around the world promised to protect us because they didn't want us to get hurt. Yeah, because we held all the secrets of the universe. We were very kind, and we had manaakitanga, generosity. That's what that means. Yes, so our nation is Te Wananui Kiwa. That's our Indigenous nation. That's our ancestral territory based on our realm, our sacred realm, and our waka migrations around our sacred realm. And the roads, they were like the highways, and our waka were like the cars. And if we wanted to go see our cousins on one of the other islands, we'd just wait for the next waka to come along, jump on the waka, and just go, woo, let's go to the next island, because the roads were our highways. It's very special. Our nation is very special. It's very ancient, and we are Indigenous. And now we have native peoples who live here, so people who were born on these islands are special too. Regardless of whether you're Indigenous or not, you are a native. Yeah. You are a native, and you're protected as well, because we have protectorates, and we can protect you as well. And even visitors who come here, we can protect you as well. Yeah, because that's our job. Because my family are the tuakana of Te Wananui Kiwa, because yeah, we were the oldest. We're ancient peoples. We were the sea peoples. We're very smart. We knew about the sciences, and that's why all the royalty around the world was so fascinated with us, because our stories were they were like, where did you know those stories from? We're like, these are our stories actually. Like when the missionaries went to Te Heko o Te Ika Maui, the tail of the fish, the top of the North Island, and they went there in 1800 and something. The missionaries showed the people of Ngāpuhi the Bible book, and the people in Ngāpuhi were like, that's our book actually, what are you guys doing? That's about us. Typical Ngāpuhi. What are you guys doing? The Bible's written about us. Yes, because it was written about us. Yeah, and that's that kind of information, that kind of history has been suppressed. And many people have tried to suppress us, but it's very hard to suppress us because we're just so bright. It's very hard to suppress us. We're bright like a star, like a te wera star, like Hauraki te wera. He was a star. He was a very beautiful star, and he was from Kaikohe. He was a beautiful star, and he came down and he protected us on Mahia. At first, they wanted to steal us away, all the princesses from the east coast wanted to steal us away, but we were just so soft and kind and beautiful, they ended up protecting us. Come down to do war with us, ended up falling in love and protecting us, because we are the little stars as well. Yeah. So Hauraki te wera, he was a star. He was our star. We call him Hauraki te wera. He was from Kaikohe. Come down to Mahia to protect us. Yeah, we love our Ngāpuhi cousins. Sometimes we squabble with them. Yes, there's lots of stories about Kahungunu people squabbling with the Ngāpuhi cousins, because they're our cousins, you see. And yes, lots of squabblings going on. Not allowed to squabble with us though, not allowed to hurt the Kahungunu. Not allowed to hurt the Kahuranaki either. And that's why one of Kahununu's, I think it was his brother or his cousin from Tauranga, yes, got very, very annoyed with Kahununu, because Kahununu was like a spoilt brat. Very vain, spoilt little thing. And he annoyed a lot of people. And but there was a rule, and the rule was you were never allowed to hurt Kahununu. You were allowed to scare him, and you're never allowed to hurt him. And that's why one of his brothers got a bit annoyed with him, and they grabbed a wet fish, grabbed a snapper. Well, that's not really going to work. I can't really do that. Okay, just imagine this is a snapper. Just imagine this is a snapper fish, okay? And Kahununu's, I think it's stepbrother, or his kazi up in Tauranga, grabbed that wet fish, that snapper, and slapped Kahununu across the face with it. Yes. And Kahununu, because Kahununu had a big heart, he was like, he started crying. But the reason why his brother got smacked by his brother in the face is because you're never allowed to hurt a Kahununu. You're never allowed to hurt him. So his brothers and his cousin got a bit sneaky. They just hit him with a fish. Slap him in the face with a wet fish. That's the way I see people. That's how we do things. And you'll be like, oh, what's that got to do with the price of fish? Quite a lot, actually. Quite a lot to do with the price of fish. We happen to be living on a big giant fish. Te ika a Maui. It's all very fishy. Our story is very fishy indeed. Yes. Oh, what's happening with my makeup? Just going to make sure it doesn't run. The other day I did a video. It was like I manifested a little baby eye up the top of my eye. Like a little black eye started growing there. I was like, what the? And this is my right hand side. Am I right with my right hand side? Must be on my right eye. I had a little third eye above my right eye. Just manifested halfway through my video. That was weird. Yes. So, yes, little tamarikis or big tamarikis. Where's my little bracelet? I wanted to do an example of a rainbow. Where did it go? Where did the bracelet go? I've lost my bracelet. I had a cute little rainbow bracelet. I was going to do a picture for you guys. Must be really small. Where'd it go? Oh God. I know where it went. It was the Pataparahi. The Pataparahi? The Pataparahi? Yes, the Pataparahi. Who are the Pataparahi? They're the fairy people. Who are the fairy people? They're like little leprechauns. They live somewhere under the rainbow in Te Reina. They live in a portal and they can just come and go whenever they please. They play their little flute. The Pataparahi. Yes, and so the Pataparahi, they just come and steal my rainbow bracelet. Pataparahi, Pataparahi, Pataparahi. Yes, little Pataparahi. Yes, little fairy people. Yes, our little cousins. Little fairy, little tiny little baby ones. Those little tiny bones. Hello, little Pataparahi. Yeah. So, now I'm going to have to just use my hands because I've lost my bracelet. Okay, just imagine a rainbow. And the top of the rainbow is violet. Okay? And this one's for my family, my kids. I'll be real quick. Top of the rainbow is violet, and my nana is Violet Shirley Tinu. And then the next colour of the rainbow is ruby. And my mother is Ruby, and my nana is Ruby Manuka. And even my dad's mum is called Ruby. She's an Aryan lady, German Aryan lady. And my oldest daughter had to be called Ruby, because the oldest had to be called Ruby. And then my next daughter was called Amber, because that's the next colour down from the rainbow. Yes, and then you have gold, the golden colour of the rainbow. That's because my dad has gold mine, Mount Ararat. He owns Mount Ararat. And below that you have emeralds. We have Pounamu. It's green. Emeralds E, emeralds E, emeralds East. East is 3. East is 3. Yeah, on the clock. And then you have sapphires, blue sapphires. Blue sapphires. Like the 10 blue sapphires on the Mu Temple. The Mu Temple is in a town, the Aksan village, or the Aksan town. Aksan is a town in the Mu desert in the Mongolia. Yes, there were 10 on Genghis Khan's temple. You'll see 10 blue sapphires, and the blue sapphires represent something. 10. So 10, it's like October, the month of October, and 10 is like the letter X, the Roman letter X, Roman numerals. X is a 10, and if you put an O in front of the 10, that's still an X. So an ox is an X, ox is 10. And a kahu is an ox. The white sacred cow goddess is a white ox. And in the Chinese Zodiac, there was a famous race, and it was the race of the Paranormal kings, or emperors. The Paranormal Emperors were the gods of the sky. And they, the gods of the sky wanted to measure who was going to win the race, the famous race of time. But it wasn't a race like how you thought it was a race. It was a Taniwha race. Yes. So you have the 12 zodiac animals of the Chinese Zodiac. And the animals, they had to run like a race and go through this sacred river. And then whoever won was the winner. And that's why you have the rat at the top. And then the next one is the white ox. And then you have the tiger, king of the jungle. Then you have the dragon, lord of the sea. Then you have the little white rabbit. Gonna follow the white rabbit. And then you had, I think it was the snake. The snake gave the horse a fright. And then you had the monkey, the sheep, and another animal. And then you had, Lucky Legs 11 was the dog. And then the last animal was the swine. Now the last animal was the swine, because the swine, the pigs, the pig people, the swine people, the mean people, yeah, they were last. And that was a ranking. And the ox, the strong, friendly, sacred white cow goddess ox, is a kahu, and kahu is, the old Sanskrit word for ox. And she should have won the race, but she got ratted out because a rat jumped on her back. And then as she was crossing the strong river, because she was the strongest and fastest and smartest and kindest of them all, the white ox, and as the white ox was crossing the river, the rat that hitchhiked on the back of the ox's back jumped off and landed first place on the river bank. Okay? Yeah. The ox, the kahu, got cooped out once again. It's a never-ending story, isn't it? Bit of a theme happening. Sacred white cow goddess got cooped out once again by the rat. But it wasn't a race like you thought it was a race. It was a race of the heart. It's a test of the heart. It's a great test of the time. Great test of the timeline. Tūranga nui kiwa. Yes, it was a test of the heart. And so the rat got caught in a rat trap because the rat was sneaky. So because the rat got caught in a rat trap, the sacred white cow goddess won first prize because she was the kindest, the softest, the smartest, the most diligent, and the wisest, and just really good at what she did. And she was a sacred white cow goddess, and she was a mother. She fed all the babies the milk, because she was very kind. She was a mother. That's why they worship the kahu or the ox in India and in Mongolia, because in times of poverty, if you had an ox in your family would live and your children will live. So if you have a sacred white cow goddess, kahu, in your family will live. If you look after your ox. But if you sell your ox, your sacred white cow goddess, down the river, just like the rat trap who jumped onto the riverbank, your family will die. Yeah, that's what that means. It's all symbolic. And the Paranormal Emperor, or the Paranormal gods, they discovered the Chinese Zodiac approximately 200 years before Jesus Christ was born. And that was approximately the same time that Grandad Maui was doing a bit of a tiki tour around the world. Grandad Maui studied at the Alexandria Library and in Egypt. And he went on a bit of a tiki tour. He had 6 big boats, big ships. And he, circumnavigated the world, and he claimed the whole world. That's why these islands are called Te Ika Maui, Te Waka Maui, Te Pango, Te Waka Maui in Hawaii, Maui in Hawaii, and Rapa Nui, Easter Island. And that's why you have Santa Monica, San Diego, and Chile. Those are all named after Grandad Maui, because he likes it hot and spicy. And the people of Tonga, they worship Maui, and they know he's a real man, and they stay true to the histories, because they built Maui a special monument, a special statue, and a lot of the people on these islands, they've lost their histories, and because they've lost their histories, the gods and the tupunas are getting the ancestors are getting a bit grouchy, because a lot of the kids don't even know that Grandad Maui was real. He was a real man. He was a man and he was a god, because we lived 3 places at once. It's very special. He could shapeshift into a hawk, and a hawk is also a kahurānaki, because the men, kahurānaki prophets, are hawk shapeshifters, like a bird man, like a hawk. They can shapeshift. They have a horoscope. They have special eyes, and they had special machines. They had like Stargate machines, and they could travel through their special Stargate machines and through their special caves, like Hinitepō. Hinitepō was like a black star. Hinitepō is black, and Hinitepō was an actual woman as well. And Hinitepō is a cave system. And within Hinitepō there was a Stargate, and the Stargate was made of pounamu and obsidian, and that's where Grandad Maui wriggled through the Stargate, through Te Reina, because Grandad Maui could steal the face of a pretty girl. Yes, Grandad Maui was a shapeshifter and a time traveller. He was a kahurānaki. Yeah. So it got all to do with sacred geometry and the years that the kahurānaki prophets are born. It's a shape. It's a sequence of numbers. And the sequence of numbers are like a dragon or a sea snake or a red snake or kahurānaki or fire snake. Yes. Okay, so Grandad Maui, my granddad, the spot where Grandad Maui pulled up Te Ika Maui, the sacred fish of the gods, was Mount Whakapunaki. That's my maunga. He was my granddad. And the reason why Grandad Maui fished up Te Ika Maui is because he went fishing with his brothers. But his brothers were bullies. They were very mean to him. And his brothers didn't let Maui use any of their fish bait. So Maui had to cut his finger or get some blood out of his nose. He got blood from himself. And then he used the blood, and he put the blood on a hook, and the hook was made out of the jaw of his grandmother, Hinitepō. And she was like a fish as well. Very fishy, our family. Okay, so he used the hook and his own blood, and he threw the hook down into the sea. And the spot where the hook fished up to Ika Maui was a cave, Mount Whakapunaki, and it was a female mountain because there's a big cave system. The biggest cave system into Ika Maui is in Te Reina. Yeah, the biggest cave system. And it's a female maunga because it's shaped like a bosom. Okay, so it's shaped like a bosom. It looks unusual, doesn't it? It looks like it was manufactured. Big booby. One big booby with a cave inside. And that's the spot, Mount Whakapunaki, where Grandad Maui fished up to Ika Maui. And the relevance of that story is an indication of the bloodlines. So the bloodline of Maui, Maui the god, Maui the great Egyptian navigator, Maui the time traveller, Maui the magician. The spot where he fished up to Ika Maui was Mount Whakapunaki, and that's my maunga, and my family are the tuakana of that maunga, and that's an indication of our bloodline. That's why we look like Grandad Maui, and that's why we talk like Grandad Maui. That's why we appreciate the arts and the sciences and the beauty. Yes, and that's how we can decode things, and that's how we know things, because we have Indigenous inherent DNA, and so our stories are very rich because these are our stories, and other people can inherit our stories through marriage and through this thing and that thing, and they can inherit the stories through the schools, but our stories, or my stories, are richer. They're more detailed, and they're more detailed because I'm a kahuranaki. And yes, so the kahuranaki, kahu is the sacred one, Ra is the highest fire, Naki is the snake, the lonely snake, because there's only one. Yeah, and the kahuranaki can be a kahu, a hawk, a Ra, a snake, and a Naki. Oh, kahu, a hawk, like a hawk, kahu. Kahu, or hawk, and I'm getting distracted by myself. Kahu is the hawk, Ra is the highest fire, and a Naki is the snake, the lonely snake, because there's only one. Niki niki, Naki naga, Niki niki, Naki naga, Niki niki. Yeah. But the kahu can also be a sacred white cow goddess, the female with the big bosoms, and Ra, the sun god, and a Naki, the snake. Yeah, and the reason for that story is it's a sacred geometry story. It's a sequence of numbers, and the sequence of numbers are 1,880, which is a very high number, and that represents the hawk. Whoosh, 1,880. Then it dips down to 180 years. That represents the kahu on the ground. Then it comes back up again, 1,880 years. Then it dips back down again to 180 years. And those are the years we were born. So I was born in 1977, year of the kahuranaki, year of the fire snake. And 100 years backwards from me was Te Hapuku Te Ikanui Te Moana. He was born in 1797, same numbers as me. Year of the kahuranaki, year of the fire snake. We're both born at Ahuriri Hill. Then you go backwards 1,880 years, and it falls on Jesus Christ. Because of the after death in the BC, the AD and the BC of Jesus Christ, there's an overlap. It's a special number overlap. An overlap. Special secret. I think it's like 33. I really need a mathematician to help me see it, because I know the story, but I need to see it. I think I'll be able to figure it out myself. But I'd really like to have some mathematicians or some very special people help me. That'd be so cool, because I hold all the secrets of the universe. Yeah. And that's why a lot of the counterfeits want to snuff me out, because I've got too much knowledge, and I'm also very friendly and I want to share it with everyone. They say it's sacred knowledge, and I say, well, it's my family's knowledge, I'll share it if I want to. Okay? With the kahuranaki, I'll share it if I want to. Nanaia Mahuta, she was not born in 1977, year of the kahuranaki, so why is she in the beehive? the beehive was built in 1977 on the head of the fish. Year of the Kahuranaki. So what's Nanaia Mahuta doing in there? In fact, what's Jacinda doing in there? It was built for me and my family and all of us. And yeah, and so if you go backwards again from Jesus Christ, 180 years from BC, it falls on the death of Maui, but not really the death, because that's when he went into the wormhole, into the cave system of Hinitapua, and into the Stargate, and the Stargate closed, and Maui went back into time, back into his little meditation place until he got reborn again. Yes, and then you go back another 1,880 years, and I think it falls on Kartika, or Candy Kumara. Candy is sweet, Kumara is potato. Candy Kumara, or Kartik, or Katikia, or Karthika. Yes, it's one of them, and it's 180 years. And then you go back another 1,880 years, and it falls on Granddad Kiwa, Granddad Shiva, Granddad. And he's the god of cycles. So that was just that last cycle. But it goes back very, very far, very, very, very far. Come back, all like the cycles. There's many cycles, you see. And Granddad Shiva is the destroyer, because you make Granddad Shiva very cross. So he's got a red dot on his head. If you make Granddad Shiva very cross, that represents Mauna Kea. That represents the volcano. And if you make Mauna Kea very cross, if you make Granddad Shiva very cross, she'll just destroy the world, because her volcano is so big, it's under the water. It's a mermaid tail. People think, oh, look at that tiny little pathetic volcano. But no, Mount Mauna Kea is the biggest mountain of all, and her volcano is so deep it goes all the way down to the centre of the earth, and it's a big journey down. You want to get dropped down into that volcano, you're going to go very, 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 very long way, and you never escape. Aki, 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 that's where you go when you hit the Kahuranaki. Go down the volcano. Ooh, so you better be nice. Yes, and so because the volcano, Mauna Kea, Papa tu Anuku, yeah, because it's so long and deep, when she explodes, the centre of the earth explodes, and the whole world will be destroyed, because Granddad Shiva is god of time. That's why he has the 33 or the 3 on his hands. That represents east. And yeah, if you fall on the 666, the number of the beast, he'll just destroy everyone. Start again. And his mokopuna get the 88s, the pearls. Pearl Harbour. The pearls. We just go straight back up to the top of the rainbow. The pearls, pretty colour that's above violet. Violet's number 7 on the rainbow. And the pearls are number 8 on the rainbow. And ruby is number 6 on the rainbow. Represents, hey, little rubies. Ruby 2 shoes, click them together. End up in Texas. Te Tiko. Because in Te Tiko there's an underground cave system as well. Just go down under the portals. End up in Texas. Te Tiko. Hey! My family's from Te Tiko as well. A very special family. Yes, I come from the underground. Yeah, I come from a cave in Te Reina waterfall. I come from the biggest tapu of all. And that's why the iwi chairs wanted to suppress me, because iwi was a government invention in the 1850s, because we identify as hapu. Yeah. We come from the biggest tapu of all. We come from a cave in Te Reina waterfall. Yes, and that's why Te Hapaku talks to me because he's a bit disappointed with the others. Te Hapuku says, I am the royal appointment. I have been appointed. I get the tick of approval, Kiva's tick of approval. And Te Hapuku says, they don't recognise you. After everything you can prove, then they'll try and take your voice away from you. And that's why the radio shows want to take my voice away from me, because I'm the monarchia and everybody wants to kill me, because it's all part of a prophecy, many prophecies, because the prophecies start on the timeline, on the Tū Ranganui Kiwa, the timeline of the Holy See, Te Moananui Kiwa. Yes, and yeah, because too many people have been worshipping Whiro. Whiro is Satan, and if you worship Whiro for too long, you lose your sparkle. And, it's not good. It's not healthy. You become sick. And people who worship Whiro make Auntie Monarchia very sick indeed. Yes. So she doesn't like to see the babies cry. And you're very lucky. She's got long legs, white skin, blonde hair and blue eyes. Because she is the Aryan Māori, but she is not who you think she is. Because her eyes are as black as obsidian. And that's me. I'm an Aryan Māori with black eyes. Because the Aryan Māoris lived in the sky. Yeah, we're just the baby ones. Yes, yeah. Yes, there's lots going on. So I'm going to talk about sacred geometry soon, and I'm going to make a series, a little video for the kiddies. It's just a short little video. I'll put Hei Koraka in there so you can see the Te Wakahuia show, and if you want to, you can see the whole episode somewhere. I've done 160 videos for you. You can learn. They might seem a little bit weird at first because I'm an Indigenous woman and these are Indigenous stories, and it's very hard for people to fathom that these stories come from us on the East Coast, but they do come from us. These are our stories, are very special. Yeah. Yes, and I'll just, yeah. So thank you for watching Te Ika Maui Radio Show, kids. I am your hostess, Monica Eastick. And, yeah. This is important, this school, because there's no point having a Te Moananui Kiwa card if you don't understand that relevance, because it's very important to learn your whakapapa, more important to learn your whakapapa and your hapu and your ancestry than it is to do any paperwork. Okay, so we need to get our priorities straight. We need to learn the correct histories of these islands, and we need to pronounce the correct names of these islands. We have to identify the counterfeits on these islands, and the counterfeits are the corporate counterfeits. Nanaya Mahuta, and she is Nanaya Mahuta. Okay, so the reason why Nanaya Mahuta wants to snuff me out is because I wrote a law. I wrote a law called the Kupapa Suppression Action 2020, and it's an Indigenous law, and within that law, it's on my website, Māori Rangers Security Division. Go have a little look at Māori Rangers Security Division website and press on the button that says Kupapa Suppression Action Law 2020, and you'll be able to read it. I might pop it up actually after this. And within that law, it stated, and the people at Waitangi moved it and agreed with me, the Tino Rangatira and the Hawaiian Federal Marshals, they were there too. Peter Hallett, he was in agreement with this law, and so were a lot of the other Tino Rangatira. And I wrote this law, and it said that anybody who voted or nominated or got somebody else to sell the seabed and foreshore for them, Hey, Tiffany O'Regan from Naitahu, who got his cousin to sign. His cousin was a lawyer, and Nanaia Mahuta. They signed to sell the seabed and foreshore, and they had absolutely no right to do that. And when they did that, that killed a lot of our wildlife, our beautiful whales and our dolphins, and they are criminals. They're criminals, and they're counterfeits, and they are all pigs at the trough, basically. They're just like hogs, and they hog all the money, and they're very corrupt and evil. And the reason why I'm getting targeted by Nanaia Mahuta, she told the police that she didn't recognise our card or our nation, Te Moana Nui Kiwa. She said she didn't recognise me, but I lived 1 block away from her, and she saw our flag every day. She knows who we are. She knows who I am. She's what we call counterfeit. She lies. She lies, and she's claiming to be Indigenous, and she's not. No. I am Indigenous. She is not. I am a threat to her, because within that law, I wrote that anyone who sold the seabed in foreshore, 2004, were never allowed to represent the native and Indigenous peoples of Te Moana Nui Kiwa. And I lodged that law with the Crown Law Executive Office, and that's the law that we can use to actually stop Nanaia Mahuta. There's a lot of whingers out there, and they like to whinge, but they are all hui and no doughy. Just going around whinging, while everyone's going around whinging, help me, the sky is falling down. I was writing laws, passing laws, and trying to stay alive, because as soon as I activated that law, Nanaia Mahuta miraculously became the unelected Foreign Affairs and Trade representative for New Zealand, and she told the police to arrest me. And there's a very nice policeman. He's got red hair, and he's a policeman from Christchurch, and he told me it was Nanaia. So if you see a red-headed policeman in Christchurch, you be nice to him, because he helped Auntie Monica. He was nice to me. He told me that it was Nanaia Mahuta who ordered my arrest. Yeah, but some other Māori police, Penny Harrison from Christchurch, he basically took my car off me, made up false allegations that I was violent towards him. I've never committed a crime in my life, never been charged for any crime, and I'm born in 1977, I think I'm 45 or 44, I don't know how old I am, somewhere around there, and it's a bit unusual, isn't it? My whole life, being a peaceful Indigenous woman, and then just one day, as soon as Nanaia Mahuta got elected, or not even elected, she was the unelected Foreign Affairs and Trade Minister, just overnight I just miraculously became violent towards policemen. No, it's a bogus story, and I've been on the run from the police because they're targeting me. I'm on the run from the police because they don't respect 33. They don't respect Shiva, and they don't respect God, and they don't respect Māori. They don't respect me, because I come from the highest of all. Very, very high up. I'm from Isis, and the Isis is a kahurānaki as well. Kahu, like winged like a kahu. Ra, Sundus, on her head. Isis is the nicest. And Anaki has scales. She's got snake scale dress. That's what she wears. She's sparkly. She's the highest judge of all. And all these policemen out there, they think they're in the blue club. Running around in a little blue outfit, eh? That's what you call counterfeits. They steal our colours, they steal everything. Yeah, they won't be happy until they've stolen your voice from you. And even when you build something up and you're not even getting funding, like how I built up Māori Ranger Security Division, how I made and created Te Moana Nui Kiwa Embassy, and I even created the Common Law Embassy for Peter, so he could hang out with his Pākehās over there. Because I wanted to do one with my people. I wanted to teach my people the correct histories and the things that will save you. Because the things that will save our people is not paperwork. No. We are the paper. We are the rako. We are the sea. We are the ariki. We don't even need to do paperwork. Do you think the giants and the Nephilim and the Pataparahi and the mermaids, you think they were running around doing paperwork? No, no, no. We're very special. We had a flag and we had knowledge and we were beautiful. We were loved all around the world. But yes, lots of counterfeits come trying to snuff us out. Yeah, so this diplomatic mission for the people of the Pacific, it's a real diplomatic mission. It's more genuine than anything you will find on these isles. I call these isles the Isles of Hades. This place is turned into hell. Yeah. Because where are the beautiful people? Where are they? Where's my family? Where's my family? Where are my protectors? What happened? This place was turned into Hades. It's a hell on earth for me. Yeah, I've watched it over the years degrade and decline. Yes, because of the swine and the swine people. Yeah, they're not satisfied until they take everything that you have. These islands are mine. My granddad named everything after me. In my family, we've all got special names. My Uncle Tasman, he's like a mermaid. He can walk across the Tasman Sea like the Wizard of Oz to the gold mines. Because my Uncle Tasman comes from the mermaids. And Jesus could walk on water, my Uncle Tasman. My Uncle Tasman was a hoary, like the Hoary Zone. It's up in Hoary Zone. He was named after Horizon. Named after Horizon. So all he has to do is walk across the sea, across the horizon. It's like the Wizard of Oz. Follow the yellow brick road. Click those two ruby two shoes together. And wake up in Texas. Wake up in Te Tiko. Because of the underground cave system from Te Reina, Waikiri-Moana, and Haingaroa Forest. The Kaingaroa Forest. To Korako, to Te Tiko. All sorts of things going on with these cave systems, subterranean cave systems. Yes, we live in 3 places at once. And everyone in my family has a special name, and I know why they are called the special name, and I know why my uncle is Firebird, because he's the phoenix. Because our family are to rise up from the dead like a phoenix. We will rise up. And when we rise up together, my family will rise up like a phoenix. We will be unstoppable. That's why they call my uncle Firebird Firebird. That's why my other uncle was Bird. They're named after all the sacred gods. Every single one of us. And yes, that's why my sister is called Sarah. That's why my sister is called Sarah, because we had this special Sarah, Molly, and I named my sister Sarah. And my cousin Sarah and Rachel, and her little sisters Harmony, because of the harmonies. The special harmonies, and the special harmonies is also like a sacred jurisdiction and a sacred geometry. Sacred, yeah, it's very sacred, all the names. Special, yeah, and I'm the code cracker, and I can tell everyone in my family what their names mean and why they mean that. And I held on to all the information for many, many years. I was born with it. When I was born, the elders, because I was the eldest female grandchild, Mokopuna, they knew that I had to hold on to the stories when the time was right. I was allowed to tell them, because over the decades people started dying, and so I'll be the oldest. I might look very young, but I'm very, very ancient. And yeah, I come from the Papa to Andaku, because the Papa where I come from is white. That's how old we are. Yeah. A lot of people say, oh, we back to Papa Tunaku. No. Because if you did, you'd be the mother. And the mother is loving. The mother teaches the babies. And food of the gods, because the mother has the milk and the honey, and oh, she's so funny. She has the manuka. She has the manis. Manis. Where have I heard manis before? Raina, Terraina. Where have I heard Raina before? The one, the kahu, the ox, the sacred ox from Terraina rains down the manis for those babies. Because I am the radio waves, the oceanic waves, the sonar waves, the Great Pacific, the Pacific waves. I am the pacifier. You are a baby and I pacify you. Yes. The Te Ika Maui radio show is a sacred tabernacle made out of the 12 sacred totara logs from the prophecy of Putahi Marae, because the 12 sacred totara logs are the branches, 12 branches of the sacred family. Yes. And the 12 branches of the sacred family, and the 11 logs that got washed up on Korito Beach on the east of Wairoa, they represent, well, Korito. Hini Korito was Nikurako's sister. The 11 logs. Yes, because 2 plus 9 is 11. I was born on the 29th of the 1277. 2 plus 9 is 11, like the 11 sacred totara logs that got washed up on Korito Beach. And just like the 12 sacred totara logs that flowed down the Wairoa River, I was born on the 12th month of the mermaids. Capricorn, mermaids. Mermaids could walk on water, and Jesus could walk on water. And Shiva was the lord of the sea. He was like a dragon, sea dragon. And Maui was a shapeshifter. He was a bird. Maui was like a hawk. And then Jesus was depicted as a red cross or a fish. Jesus was depicted as a fish. And Te Hapaku Te Ikonui o Te Moana was depicted as the biggest fish in the sea. He was a bass, big bass, big bass. Te Hapaku, big bass, bass, ambassador. And I am the little mermaid, a female prophet. Very rare. We don't like to send out our female prophets because the female prophets, the mermaids, are a little bit slow on the ground. They don't know how to strike back because they have no arms. They don't know how to kick people because they have no feet. That's why we had to give Monakia 33,000 feet and lift her up a little bit, put her up into the cosmos. So she was safe. Put her up into the moon and she was safe around the orbit. You know what those humans are like? They just can't help themselves. They see something so shiny and bright and they think, oh, I'll take that for myself. And they, like vampires, just suck the goodness out of you until you have nothing left. They'll just leave you like an empty husk, give you nothing back at all. And if they walk past you, my love, and they know that you are homeless, then we will know they are swine. And Lord, have mercy on the souls that are swine, because the demons are hungry until the end of time. And the demons are your family too, Monica. And even they chose your name because they are the Demonica. You are the harmonica, and they are the Demonica. When you put the Ha and the D together, it makes Hades. Because I am the great test of time, the greatest test of time, the great test of the East. Because 666 is the number of the beast, and the beast is my family. Who are the royalty and who are the swine? Thank you for participating in my diplomatic mission. Yes, you've saved your soul. It's not about the cards though, is it? about who you are and who you worship. Do you worship fiddle? Do you worship fiddle? Do you worship the light? Te uru te nānana. Uru te nānana? You worship Grandad Tāne, the biggest tree of all. Petrified tree stump, Mount Sekorangi. Do you worship Kiwa, the divine water spirit? Grandad Kiwa, Grandad Kiva, Grandad Shiva. Over 1 billion people worship Grandad Shiva all around the world. I need to put an SOS out to the Maharaja. The Maharaja, 2004, I was, when the Naimahuta was selling the seabed and foreshore, I was in India, I was in Goa, I was at the Maharaja, I was partying with the Maharajas. I've lost my phone, I've lost everything because I've been targeted by the police and by bullies and by hitmen. And it's all because of the Naimahuta. I need to get my message across to the Maharaja in India. I've travelled all around the world, very, very famous. I just need to get my message out because I am a monarchia. Yeah? I'm the Sacred Tabernacle, I'm the Holy See of the Holy See, I'm the Ark of the Covenant. Do you recognise me? Do you recognise my diplomatic mission? Do I look like someone you know? But anyway, kids, this is a nice story, but there's a lot of encoded information, and this is nice and pleasant for the babies, and they will be able to go to sleep to this story. If you put this on and they can go non-eyes, they go sleep. But they'll absorb the information, and even if they unconsciously absorb the information, at least that's something. Somebody needs to speak in their tardiness, because the adults, I think, a little bit fallen down the wayside. Their cups have become full of useless information a lot of the time. So if you have a sacred cup, how is a sacred cup? Imagine this is a sacred cup. How do you do a sacred cup? Wait. What is it? Yes, that's a sacred cup. Yes. Wow. Hello. Imagine this is a sacred cup. Okay, and it's all full. And it's full of rubbish. Just rubbish. Rubbish words and rubbish information. Nonsensical information. And fiddle worshipping information and counterfeits. If you fill your brain up with rubbish, there'll be nothing left for monarchia. All my words, there'll be nowhere to store your words. My words. These words could save your life and save your spirit. Because it's very, very important to learn your whakapapa. It's very, very important that you know about the noose of fiddle. And it's very important that you know that Auntie Monica did not invent the game of, fiddle. Okay, Operation Toe Fiddle, that was the police. They opened up Operation Toe Fiddle. And if any police are watching, I want you to go to the Google. Okay, I can teach the police too. Hello, police, you must be my babies too. Little 33s, little blues. What are you doing with my colours, my numbers? But anyway, if you're a policeman, I want you to go to the Google, honey bunny, and you go and research what it means. What does fiddle mean? Here's the Satan, the mouldy equivalent of Satan, and I want you to go and learn what you've done when you open up Operation Toe Fiddle. I need you guys to know how evil and sick that is, okay? And I want you to come and ring up Auntie Monica one day when I get a phone. I want you to ring me up and I want you to tell me who opened up Operation Toe Fiddle, because it was very, very evil. That's a satanic worshipping thing, and there's a lot of good police out there. So if you're a good policeman, if you worship God, okay, you've got to alert somebody about Operation Toe Fiddle. If you go to church and you're a policeman, you need to go talk to the priest about what's happening, because Operation Toe Fiddle is evil. It's very evil. It's a child sacrifice thing, okay? You need to go talk to someone at the church. Go tell somebody about it. Go talk to someone. We won't judge you. Yes. Because I don't know if you guys know how evil it is. Very bad. Very bad that Nanai Mahuta. Okay, so in the book of the Bible, there's a man called Jesus. He was very beautiful. He was a mermaid. Born on the 12th month, like me. I'm a mermaid. And he got killed. He got sacrificed because of some horrible, horrible trick played upon him by some satanic people. And the satanic people, or the murdering people, they got away with whatever they were doing. And Jesus got tortured. So everybody out there has to have a good long think about what you're doing. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? Running around doing all these holies with other groups? What for? It's Hinikorako who chooses who lives and who dies. She's the highest judge of all. Yeah, this is why I don't know if we live on in heaven anymore. I don't think this is paradise anymore. I think it's quite degraded. And lots of people go to church and lots of people get funding and this and that. I get absolutely nothing. And they'll be happy when my voice is gone, and when my voice goes, who's going to comfort the babies? Are you going to comfort the babies when they start freaking out? Is your voice soft? Are you the pacifier? Are you the Pacific? Are you the Great Pacific? The Pacific? Te moana nui kiwa, are you the Pacific, are you? Oh, okay. You must be the Pacific. Well, we're God's babies and don't have to go to actual church. Just be aware, recognise the enemy. Okay? It's no big riddle. It's like, hello, I'm sure most people have some concept of the Bible and the book of Revelations, and 666 and the number of the beast was celebrated on Mātariki this year. What do you think that represents? Do you know what's going to happen next? Hey, all these smart people running around doing big paperwork. Yeah, that's going to help you. Yeah, you're going to take that paperwork up to heaven. You see what happens to you. You might get sent straight back down to the house of fiddle, and the demons will eat you forever and ever. Yeah, big tough guys, huh? Just little pipsqueaks. The whole lot of you. Hi, naughty. All those islands are very, very special because they come into a sacred triangle, and it was the God zone, Te Moana Nui Kira. Yeah, and that's where we live, and that's our home, and that's our nation, our Indigenous nation, and our country is Nutarini, and a country is the corporate protectorate for the peoples, and a corporate protectorate is the protectorate that has a flag. So we have the 1834 flag with the Red Cross. It's a Royal Diplomatic Immunity flag gifted by King William IV in 1834 to the Tino Rangatira of Nutarini. Yes, so that we could trade safely all around the world, and that we would be protected, and that nobody would hurt us, because we were the God's babies. We were God's babies. We're very innocent, and we're very beautiful, and all the royalty around the world promised to protect us because they didn't want us to get hurt. Yeah, because we held all the secrets of the universe. We were very, very kind, and we had manaakitanga. Generosity, that's what that means. Yes, so our nation is Te Moana Nui Kiwa. That's our Indigenous nation. That's our ancestral territory based on our realm, our sacred realm, and our waka migrations around our sacred realm.